missing someone.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily, for those of you who don't already know, and I'm going to be putting a shameless plug and putting my Instagram up above so you guys can go ahead and follow me on there as well, because that's where I have most of my content. It's like the hub for everything that I do. So yeah, just follow me there to know everything about everything. Anyways, today I'm doing a really exciting video that I've been kind of wanting to do for a very long time, but I wanted to make sure that I had everything prepared for it, as well as did a lot of research, because I didn't want to sound like a dummy while doing this video, because this video is about finances or budgeting as a young woman of color, but this is for anybody really, because I don't think that we're having this conversation enough in all of our circles, and it's really important to become financially fluent. Disclaimer, I am not a finance advisor. I've just been living on my own for quite a while, and I like my lifestyle and I maintain it with all of these tips and tricks up my sleeve that I have accumulated over the years. And of course I've made mistakes like all of us, but don't self-sabotage yourself for much longer, for too long, when you have the knowledge and the tools to get better. Especially now, I'm actually recording this on election day at 4:12, and I'm full of anxiety right now, but everything is so unknown. Everything can change so much from one day to another, and it's really important to be financially prepared for the best and for the worst. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this video, to kind of help you guys a little bit, and I hope that it does.
Missing someone.
Some things that I wanted to kind of start off with, and these aren't things that you have to follow, but by doing research, these were kind of like goals and rules of thumb for a lot of people that they wanted to follow for their financial goals. So number one, your very base minimum to have saved is $1,000, and these $1,000 is a good cushion for if you get a flat tire, I don't know, some expense comes up that you can handle that hit, and you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You at least have a little bit of cushion to save yourself from mayhem. So that's like the bare minimum. Another one moving up is in your 20s. This is like a 20s goal or rule, is you should have 3 months worth of your living expenses saved. And this I've actually heard a lot, and I actually had this already saved before the pandemic, which saved my booty. I was just stressed out trying to figure it out, but at least I had those living expenses already saved and up my sleeve, so that did alleviate me from a lot of financial anxiety. So that's really good to have. Of course, moving up from here is, instead of having 3 months of living expenses, you should have 3 months of your income saved. That's like an emergency fund to get started on your savings account. Then you're moving up to your 30s, a goal that I saw online, which I thought was kind of interesting. And this is, of course, varies, because not every profession is the same. Not everybody's starting salary is the same, and especially if you've been in your industry for so long, in your 30s you should already be, I don't know, 6 years in, 4 years in, depending on what you do. But you should have 1 full year of salary saved, which I thought was really interesting. Hopefully in my 30s I'm making 6 digits. So that's how much money I'll need to have saved or somehow invested. So those are a couple of financial goals of rule of thumbs to kind of keep in mind. Personally, some of mine that I've also added in that line, because it's very important to have financial goals for yourself, because if you don't have them, you're never going to be striving to be at a certain place financially. You'll just have this mentality of like, I'll get rich somehow, someday, it's gonna magically happen, and it just doesn't. You have to put it down on paper, manifest it, and work for it. Like, dreams don't work unless you do. So some of the goals that I've personally written down for myself is, I want to buy a home in the next 2 to 3 years, and I haven't actually made up my mind, and I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 to 3 years. Also, if it's going to be a live-in home here in California, or if it's going to be a rental home somewhere like Arizona, where it's a little bit cheaper. It is going up, so you never know. Like I said, another goal, I want to be making 6 digits by 27 years old. That gives me 3 years to somehow whip that up. But that's a crazy financial goal that I've given myself that I don't think it's impossible. I do think it's difficult, but we're gonna put it down because I want to shoot for the stars and land somewhere in there. And another one that's a little more short-term goal is to start investing in 2021. I think more than ever this year, I've really gotten into my finances and budgeting, but next year I want to get to know more and learn more about the stock market and investing. And that's why I was saying investing in real estate, having a rental home. So those are some goals. I actually want to get into just budgeting in general. I'm going to link down below a sheet on Google Sheets of how I personally budget myself, and this is super duper helpful. I used to do it a little bit different, and I actually got this one from Natalie Barbu. Shout out to her. I just changed it a little bit to be more personal to me, and I've added a couple of other sheets that have helped me, and you could use this one or you could do the same thing I did and kind of personalize it to your life. But basically, I have written down all of my sources of income, and this is after taxes. You never want to write down before taxes because that's unrealistic. That's not real money that's coming in. I'm writing it all down, all my sources of income from my main source, which is server, my small businesses like Molly Beauty, Little Antiques, side hustles that sometimes I get myself into. And then you want to go into the nitty-gritty of your expenses and your bills, and you want to write down from your housing to your food to your transportation, other, and even your subscriptions, because all of those subscriptions add up to quite a large bill. Once you have all of that information, you'll know exactly how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And this is extremely uber important because you do not want to be living beyond your means and spending more than you're earning. I also added a couple of other sheets in the worksheet, and that's bill dates. So it'll be really helpful to see exactly what bills are charged on what day, and that way you can kind of also plan for what time of the month you're gonna have that money and how much is gonna go, let's say, the next week. You know what I mean? It's really important to have that. And then lastly, the last sheet that I've added on there is a projection sheet. I'm crazy and I need to have projections of my finances 3 months out. This is how I give myself short-term financial goals, is if I'm doing my projections and I'm sticking to my plan. That's my main goal always, is to stick to my budget or to my plan. So this is kind of a way to see, like, okay, how much money do I have in all of my little places, because sometimes we don't count them. For example, you have your checkings, you have your savings, you have your Venmo, your PayPal, your Apple Wallet, and your cash. Round it all up. How much money do you have? How much money is coming in? For example, I do this on the 1st of the month, so I get paid right on the 1st of the month, my payout, and then my bills, and then my payout and my bills. So I'm having this kind of projection of how much money I constantly have, and I can kind of tell how much money I should have in the bank, for example, the 22nd of the month, right? This is if you really want to hone in on your finances, guys, like I do, but I think it's really helpful. Okay, so once you have all of that, we can get into these rule of thumb ratios. So on the internet, there is the very well-known 50-30-20 ratio. And what that means is that you're spending 50% of your income on your essentials and your bills. 30% goes to your luxuries and to what brings joy to you. And 20% goes to savings, debt, retirement, and an emergency fund. And again, this is all after taxes. This ratio is really great, I think, for beginners, if you're just starting to do this, because I think it's giving you a lot more for luxuries than savings. Whereas I've been doing this for a while, and I actually want to minimize my luxuries and bring up my savings. For example, for me, for the year of 2020, my ratio is 50, 15, 35. And I'll go into how I kind of minimize that luxuries percentage. But 50% of my money goes to essentials, bills, and debt. My debt is in my essentials because it's essential to me to pay my debt. It's not a luxury, it's not savings, like that's essential. And then luxuries and self-care and what brings joy is only 15%, because for this whole year, we've just been indoors. Yes, I've gone out to dinner, but that's it, you know, like I don't need to be all dolled up and all these crazy things that I need to spend on. and then 35% has gone to my savings and my emergency fund. And I have saved the most that I've ever saved in 2020, and I'm really proud of myself. So get on it. It's so empowering to know that you have self-control over your money, and that you have money saved for any occasion that may occur. And even though I am super confident in that aspect, one thing I'm definitely lacking on, and I'm kind of embarrassed to be honest about it, but hey, that's why I'm here, is I don't have a retirement plan. And I know that I'm like 5-6 years late, and I'm cheating myself out of savings and money. But I've just worked in the fashion industry, and I haven't had good luck in having a job that has great 401k options, and I haven't started my Roth era. So maybe we'll make it a future video of me starting my retirement fund, because that is important. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys two things. I'll start with how I minimized my spending on 2020, which is probably like no duh to some of us, but I needed to do the math for it to make sense in my life, right? On average, I was spending $40 to $100 every 2 weeks on getting my nails done. I don't need to have my nails done anymore, and on average, that's about $2,100 annually. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up. On coffee, I had a 9-to-5 job, so I was spending about $5 to $7 on coffee a day. So that's on average $35 a week, and that comes out to be about $2,000 annually. I was ordering food like 2 to 3 times a week because I was too tired or lazy to cook. So that's about $60 a week, which comes out to be about $3,000 annually. Obviously, I'm not going out and like drinking crazy alcohol like I used to. And I used to budget myself $300 on going out and dinner nights, and that comes out to be to about $3,600 annually. If you add all of this up, that comes out to be more than $10,000 a year that I could be saving, that I did save on just these little things that we spend mindlessly because we're like, you know, I'm gonna get my cup of coffee to start my day and be productive. I'm gonna get my nails done because I deserve it. Yes, you deserve it, but you also deserve financial freedom, and that is what you deserve more. So let's work on that. So yeah, those were some things that helped me save this year, and that can help you, and to really consider. And ways that I did it, my boyfriend got me the Nespresso machine. It was on sale for $180, and the pods are $1 each on Amazon. So now even if I'm having a cup of coffee a day, that's less than $500 a year. Another thing for eating out, yes, I still do it maybe once every 2 weeks. Honestly, I don't do it that much, but whenever I am feeling lazy or tired to cook, that does happen more often than not. I go to Trader Joe's. I shop my groceries at Trader Joe's, and they have exquisite frozen meals that you could just put in the oven, and they taste delicious. They get the job done, and it makes me feel a little productive because I had to like prepare it, you know what I mean? And then of course, shopping. I love fashion. I get the itch to get something new all the time. Like, I get it. But I go thrifting and I spend a lot less. I get really cool items, and they last in my closet for a very long time. Also, to diversify your cash flow, you can sell things that you are no longer into on Depop, Poshmark, and make money there. You see, it's all a lifestyle that you have to be super conscious about money. I know it's not about being greedy or just having like a money mentality. It's just being smart and being cautious and conscious about it. So now I'm into like my food for thought section. This is the longest video. I apologize. I hope you're still watching because this is good information. Rent alone should not be more than half of your income. And I know this is really hard for us millennials. You can't have it all, right? So for me personally, things that I always think about is, do you want a renovated space or do you want a good location? And personally, I think that where I'm at, it's mostly renovated than in a good area. Like, it's an okay area, could be better, but I liked the fact that it was super renovated and it felt luxurious to me. And then another thing, like I would love nothing more than to be driving an Audi, a Beamer, a Benz, a Tesla. But right now my car is a tool. I have a Toyota RAV4. I don't need it to be super luxurious. I do love my mom car because I could put so much furniture and home decor in there. I don't need to be having a luxurious car right now. That's just not where I am in life. Like, it does not make sense to me personally to be driving a luxurious car and renting an apartment. Like, I will be driving a luxurious car when I own a home. You know what I mean? Do not imitate others people's spending habits and lifestyle. Stick to your own. And I know this is really hard. Be careful, you know, like, and also surround yourself with like-minded people that are spending their money in the right way. Of course, treat yourself. You should have that cushion. You're either doing the 30% or the 15%, and that's where that should be going, and that's great, but just make sure that you're keeping it in there. You know what I mean? Another thing, okay, so like credit, right? Credit cards. I personally don't recommend that you have more than 3 because there's really no reason. You should definitely be treating your credit cards as your debit cards or as cash. Do not spend more than you have, and I'm still suffering the consequences of doing that in my earlier 20s when I lived in New York, because I was just putting all of my flights on my credit card because I was like, why not? So now I'm paying all of that off. So you see, we're not all perfect. We don't all have it figured out, and sometimes it takes time and being transparent with yourself mostly and writing down all of these numbers. That's why for me, doing it manually is what worked, because it really shocked me, you know? And I hope that it shocks you in that way, in the best way as well. And I'm leaving off with the last food for thought is, even though I'm money conscious and budgeting queen and all of this, I do not like to live the I'm broke mindset lifestyle, and I actually get mad at people around me that say that all the time. Like my mom, we had this thing where we would always be like, estoy pobre, no tengo dinero. You know, you hear that a lot, and you're putting that in your mind, and you shouldn't. It's not about having a poor mentality. It's about having an educated boss bitch mentality. Don't tell yourself you're poor. Tell yourself you're budgeting, you're being smart with your money. Just cut off those words, because I truly believe in manifestation. So stop saying I'm poor, I'm poor. You're not poor. You're at a certain stage in your life where you have to just be a little bit more mindful with your money, and that's it. I'm gonna sign off with that. I really hope this video helped you guys in some way. I hope that this sheet that you guys are going to be able to download helps you guys if you haven't already done a budgeting sheet, projection sheet of some way. And let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, I love you so freaking much. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and until next time,